continent.
Hey guys.
It's just a pineapple.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Here at the Swamp, get ready to beat LSU. Y'all tune in to Rule Number 1 podcast on Monday.
Yeah, it's hump day. Hump day.
That's a new intro, man.
I know.
Yeah, guys, we thank you for bearing with us. You know, I went to Yellowstone, actually, and Brian went down to Inglewood, had a little vacation plan, so it pushed us back a little bit, but we're happy that y'all are still tuning in. We're 2 days a little bit late, but don't worry, we'll be right back on track, partner.
Yeah, and we have a cool guest star tonight, Mr. John Conley Barnett. Man, I don't know how to, introduce him. Like, he's a, agriculture businessman, YouTuber, hunter, just a good personality. He's a guy I've been wanting to have on the show for a long time, too.
Mr. Everything.
Yes,
dude. Exactly.
MacGyver. The Fort B. MacGyver.
Mr. Everything, but really nothing.
It's me.
But anyways, yeah, JC, so at the beginning of every episode, we ask people, what is your number one rule you live by?
Well, I paid attention, and I've tried to come up with a good answer for this, but I don't really have any rules. I'm just kind of fly by the seat of my pants. I guess I could go with number one rule in athletics, being a coach, is to be straight up with people. Mm-hmm. You know, if they say, I always used to tell my guys, if you want to ask me a question or if you want to know something about playing time, your talent level, anything like that, I'd say, don't be afraid to ask, but don't be afraid to get the answer either.
Right.
Because I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
And lead somebody down the wrong path.
Baseball coach as well, everybody. I forgot to put that.
Baseball coach.
Yeah. I'm being straightforward. I like that. Straight shooter. You're straight shooter. You're going to call it like you see it.
I don't want to call it honesty because you can't always be completely honest because you don't want to hurt people's feelings either.
Why not?
Well, I mean, you got to have a little tact. You can't.
Well, sometimes hurting people's feelings is like what pushes them to do great things.
I agree, but in the same sense, the only time that I would ever have to be in that situation, I was a JV coach. Okay. So it's kind of like, well, you don't really know what this guy's going to do. I don't want to steer him away. I just want to kind of keep him grounded and say, smart. Like, a good example was I had a guy say, hey, right when I started coaching, hey, you think I'm good enough to play at University of Florida? And I was like, no.
That's a tough task. Yeah.
And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, no, you're not. I was like, guys that go to University of Florida are usually like
draft guys.
Draft guys.
Yeah.
I was like, you're not a draft guy, but I said, it doesn't mean you can't have fun. Play the game.
Yeah.
So.
And it doesn't mean you can't go play college baseball either. Yes. A lot of people think that, and obviously I don't know the kid or whatever his talent level.
Yeah, I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah.
You know him, but we're not going to say his name.
You get kids, especially that come in and be like, oh, yeah, like I'm a D1 guy. And as soon as they get a Division II offer or a JUCO offer, they're like, oh, no, screw that.
They scoff at it.
It's like, listen, bud, like you got to know your value. And like I hit my junior year and I was like, okay, I have the potential to go small D1, D2, or anything other. And so it's like one of those things where it's like small D1, it's like, am I going to play a lot? Probably not. But there's all these other options too. And I feel like kids nowadays, just like they see, freshman, sophomore getting signed to go to the University of Florida. But if you're a junior and you haven't got picked up by a D1 school, the chances of you getting signed, it's very, very, very low.
It's not happening. Not nowadays.
I'm not saying it won't. You can get drafted still.
Yeah, but later on.
Like, there's an old boy from Bartow. Like, he didn't hit his growth spurt till his senior year, and all of a sudden he got put on the map, got drafted by the Pirates.
That is true. That's Harbin.
Yeah, Harbin.
Yeah. I mean, he was just a typical, like, he was above average high school player, hit his senior year, and he took off. Mm-hmm. Ended up getting drafted first round. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but you really got to put in some work and time into it.
That's true. I mean, it's, there's so many ways you can get to the baseball draft. I can't believe we're talking about this off the rip. Yeah. I'm excited. Yeah. You were a draft pick too, man. Like
I was twice.
Who? The Rangers, right?
I got drafted by the Braves out of high school.
Go Braves.
He's a big Braves guy.
46th round.
Okay.
I can tell that story in a minute. And then out of college, out of my junior year, 6th round. So by the Rangers.
Yeah. Man, I forgot. I can't believe I dropped the intro on you, man. You have like I said, you everything you can think of.
No, not really. But, I did some things.
Jackson of all trade.
So 46th
Master
round.
of none.
That's that's not a thing anymore nowadays, is it? Right?
It is not. It is so much tougher in baseball now because after COVID, they dropped. However, I think COVID they only had like 10 rounds. I don't know. I can't remember, but there's 20 rounds I think now, and then they eliminated quite a few levels of minor league ball now. So they don't carry as many guys, so like they don't need as many fill-in players. They don't need as many like just guys to fill out a roster. So you got to be legit now. Yeah. To get a shot.
I think it's like more of the international influence too. The pool's getting bigger. Pulling guys. It's not. Back in the day, it was like, all right, he's from New York. This guy's from Boston. Now it's like, all right, this guy's from South Korea. This guy's from Australia. This guy's from Japan. Like, the pool's bigger. Yeah. And you get seen more.
Or the Dominican.
Yeah, that's true.
The DR is a huge thing.
But they have, like, baseball schools down there. There's nobody else in the world that has that. Like, those kids go to school to play baseball. Like, that's their thing. So it would make sense that there's a lot of, major leaguers from that country. 6th round and the 48th. 46, sorry. Sorry.
Can't cut them short.
Yeah, I can't. What was that slot like?
Okay, so I'll tell that story now. So in high school, had a kind of just going into my senior year was going to be a really high, not really high. I'm saying
you were a prospect, man. You
10,
can say it. Yeah,
top 10 rounds, no problem. And going into my first game, a lot of talk, a lot of chatter, all this stuff. Ended up throwing 7 innings first game. It's about 50 degrees.
Nice.
7th inning, go out. I'm pitching against All Saints with a guy on the mound that was younger than me, and he threw pretty good. Went out. I don't remember what pitch it was, but I heard a nice little pop in the old elbow. Oh. I was like, oh, no. Finished out the game. We lost. And didn't pay much attention to it. Just figured, okay, it'll get better. It happened before. Arm problems my whole life. You throw hard, you have arm problems. And next week we played on a Thursday. Played Bartow, and my brother pitched Addison, and I still hear about it. He was good, man. He was a lefty.
Yes.
Through a G ball. You know what a G ball is?
No, I don't.
Gravity ball.
Okay.
But he threw strikes, kept it low. Anyhow, we're in and out of the lead. And coach at the time said, "Hey, can you go in?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll go in." I go in. I'm still pumping 90, still throwing good, but it's hurting bad.
I'm sure.
Next day, fall asleep on the couch. Can't stretch my arm out. Spent the whole year, trying to get back. DH for a while. Actually went over to Brave spring training.
In Orlando at the time, right?
In Orlando. Yeah. Me and my mom. And we went through, like, the big league entrance. Went through the big league. They weren't in there, but we went through the big league locker room and saw the, I don't know if y'all remember. You probably, if you're a Braves fan, you remember the old ball-headed trainer that would run out when everybody got hurt?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so he came in to check my arm. And he's like, oh, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it. Met Sherholtz.
Okay.
And then me and my mom are leaving, and we're like, oh, that was cool, Not thinking like, dang, they probably like me if they're bringing me over there. So go through the whole situation the rest of the year. Never really throwing real hard, but still have put together a good year. And going into the draft, we were like, oh, yeah, well, yeah, we'd love it. Draft us. What's it going to take? Well, we don't know. We're first-timers.
Yeah.
So the first day of the draft goes by, no draft. Second, I'm like, okay, well, that sucks. Second day, by the end of the day, I'm 18 years old. I'm freaking throwing away my stuff. I'm like, I'm like,
it's over.
I'm out on our back porch, and I'm like crying. I'm like, well, screw it. I'm just gonna go to work. I'm done with this. And my mom, being the wonderful woman that she is, she called the scout from the Braves, who had shown us the most interest in everything, and said, hey, what's the deal? Like, my son is out here, like, devastated. Mm-hmm. What's going on? Well, you didn't really seem like you wanted to really play pro ball, so we just – do you want to? He's like, well, he wanted – yeah. So, well, we'll draft him real quick. They drafted me. And I was like, well, not now. I don't want to play now.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I going to college. Then my buddy Everett Jones was the same situation. He even, I think he had like people over at the house waiting for the call the first day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucked. So I didn't do that my second time. I was like, nope, we're just going to go on about our business. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So you went to Florida Southern College, right?
I did.
Nice.
Florida Southern. Out of, had a lot of offers. Not offers. It's just like everybody says offers. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, do you want to come here? Yeah, I'll come here. I got an offer.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I went to Florida Southern because they were going to let me hit also.
That's a big component. A lot of people do that. I'm sure. Did you hit a lot?
I did.
Really?
I didn't even pitch till halfway through my freshman year. My velocity was down.
Okay.
And then coming in, couple guys transferred out, couldn't make the grades, and I fell into a starter role. Like I started first college game I ever played in. I started
As a pitcher?
No, as right fielder.
Oh, okay.
Right fielder. Went 0 for 4.
I've had games like that.
Started my second game, went 0 for 4, and I'm like, I'm never getting a hit. And then went 3 for 4. My actually, I inside out at a ball at Henley. You know how big Henley was.
Yeah.
Well, it was 340 back in the day. Inside out at lefty because I was a switch hitter, triple. I was like, dude, nothing to this. And then, but then midway through the year, I started pitching, so I became a weekend starter.
Dude, what are you not good at? Like, I feel like there's a shorter list of things.
No music.
Okay.
Can't do anything musical. Not real good at math.
That's funny.
But other than that, that's about it.
So I want to know, you've had a baseball background. You went, got drafted by the Rangers and everything. What happened? What got you into the citrus industry and the farming aspect of it?
We hadn't talked about my one thing I want to talk about.
Talk about it.
Dude, what do you think about it? You played.
Travel ball.
Oh, travel ball.
We got rolling on this. We got to get it rolling on this.
So now y'all played.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me, do you think it was worth it, or do you think you would have ended up where you ended up no matter what? You both ended up, and not saying that it was bad. Yeah. You both ended up at Warner, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Would you have ended up there, or would you end up there, or if you had never played travel ball?
You want to?
I do want to go first because I played on a good travel ball team, right? Mm-hmm. But it was what it's grown into, that organization. I don't want to say names, and I don't want to piss off anybody. Right?
But
like,
well, you could just say travel ball in general.
It's just it's the same. It's the same shit now, right? It's the same pay you play,
right?
I was kind of like that bridge to where it was getting there, right? Like my age group, he could probably agree to, but like it was starting to become that, right? You pay or you play, but like I feel like personally no, right? Because I got found out through Ave, right, from travel ball. So that's the school I went to. So that's where they saw me play. They picked me up then, like, so yes, I would still play. But it was because I played for a really good team, and we played in a lot of good tournaments when we had 12 guys. We were a bunch of ragtag dudes that could just win ball games. We don't know how we did it. We just went and won. So it was really fun, really good, friendships. I don't really talk to those guys anymore now. But I do think that it would have ultimately affected where I ended up.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
I have a couple different perspectives. One, I played for an elite team in high school. I mean, we were my 16 under year, we were 16 in the nation. My 17 and under year, we were 31 in the nation.
If we are dropping that, I will say we were 18th in the nation too at one point. My team. Okay. Sorry, I wanted to throw mine out.
This is your travel ball team, not LCS,
yes.
right?
This is travel.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a travel ball team. I also played for Perfect Game, the number one recruiting travel ball organization in the world. I worked for them for 4 years. Would I have personally, this is my story, would I have gone to Warner if I would have never played? Yes. If I would have never played travel ball? Yes.
What did you major in?
In college, agriculture studies.
Yeah, that's what Jack's going to do.
So that's
Agribusiness,
great program.
Agribusiness, I think.
Great program. He'll love it. Fantastic. He'll never want to leave.
Right.
Me personally, that's my experience. But with travel ball, the whole elite deal, if you are not on a team that is probably, I would say, top 500 in the nation, it's a waste of money to me personally. I think you can have summer ball high school leagues that you can have competitive teams, or whatever, or keep playing in a way. But if you're not on a high end team,
you're wasting your time.
Yeah. For me personally, I had a lot bigger offers and I chose to go to Warner because of the degree. And so that's why I went there. And honestly, they wouldn't get back with my my travel ball coach. My travel ball coach tried, never heard anything back. I had my high school baseball coach knew Sykes, my head coach, personally, and he reached out to him. And that's how I got the offer. And so that's why I say I didn't necessarily need to play travel ball, but I wouldn't have the other 11 offers that I would have if I didn't play.
Right.
So it's a yes and no. I think you need to play. I don't think you need to play in every single huge tournament. I think you need to play good in about 4 tournaments in your high school career. If you play good in 4 tournaments in your high school career,
somebody pick you up.
You'll get picked up.
I agree. I do agree with that.
So are you ready?
Yes.
For
Unload.
an old man's opinion. I'm not going to unload. I'm just going to say, okay. So I feel like travel ball in general has ruined youth baseball.
Oh, 100%. It's individualized.
And it's ruined high school baseball.
Yes, it has.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you why, okay? Youth baseball, we all know what that is because everybody is like, well, we'll still play league ball, but we play travel ball, so that's more important, you know?
Yeah.
I can't throw this week. So, and then it turns into we're just like, don't play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, high school, for us, the way we used to do it when I was in high school is, you know, after your season was over, you had a little break, usually through spring football, and then you picked up and you started playing Legion ball.
Yeah,
I wish they'd come back with that, man.
Well, it's the cat's out of the bag. It's never going back in because it might, but not in our baseball lifetimes. Maybe your kids when they're in high school. I don't know, but everything now is so like, well, I got to go do this, I got to do that. So you can't play with your team. Like I played predominantly with Fort Meade guys every summer from the time after my freshman year all the way up. And now towards the end, when I was older, we started picking some guys up that couldn't play Legion ball anymore, like 18-year-olds. Mm-hmm. And they would come play with us, and we would still play Legion ball, but we never played Legion tournaments. We played Dixie tournaments, which was 18 and under.
Yeah.
Right.
So like Little League, Dixie youth ball.
Yeah.
Dixie Majors or Dixie Boy. I think it's Dixie Majors.
Dixie Boys, I think.
Okay, so we would go and win. And I think Dennis Pate, he's passed away now. He figured out he'd get all the seniors from Polk County. Mm-hmm. This was in the, I think, mid-2000s or something like that. He'd go win the World Series every year.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And but it's become so much, and I think it's kind of like, okay, if I'm after my freshman year of high school, right? I was first team All-State pitcher, good player. Let's say that I take and go play 15 and under travel ball. What am I going to do at 15 and under? I just was All-State in 18 and under.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to digress. But I played 18 and under in the summer. So every year you just got better. And you got better with your team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now it's like, well, I'm going to go play for him. I'm going to play for there. And then we come back and it's like, we're not even a team anymore.
Yeah.
Well, it almost gets to the point where it's like the whole, even college ball, and in college baseball, college football, whatever, the NIL deals, it's almost like a sense of like individuality until you get to the pros. And now it's almost getting to the point where it's even in high school. So you've got these kids that, you know, you've had this sense of loyalty all up until the 8th grade. You know, it's your team, you play travel ball, you play rec ball, you grow with your team. You probably played with the same travel ball team 3 years, you know, 2-3 years, whatever. Grew up with the guys. You go to high school. Okay. You make the team, whatever. Then you're starting to play travel ball. And then you're starting to go to these showcases where it's all individualized. And so you run your 60, you do your, you know, your pop time or, you know, what you're topping out at, this and that. And then you're playing in these travel ball tournaments, and then all of a sudden, okay, well, this guy offered me this week, and like I can go play for free, and I'm playing in, you know, a top 100 tournament in Atlanta, Georgia, and so I'm going to go pick up with them, and then I'm going to go pick up with them, and this and that. And you get to high school, and then you're getting recruited or whatever, and it's like, oh, I'm not going to throw this week because I'm playing in Atlanta this weekend.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so where does it come to the point where it's like, it's not me. Hey, let's go win a state championship. Hey, let's go win a conference tournament. Hey, let's go win a College World Series.
Right.
And because then you get to the point where it's like, okay, say for instance, if you do make it to the MLB, where's the team buy-in?
It's not happening
Right? Yeah.
most of the time.
Yeah.
But, well, here's what I thought about last night. And I thought about it here coming up. It's become all about what's next. Mm-hmm. What's next? Like, okay, I'm 8, playing 8U. Oh, what 9U team am I going to play on?
Yeah.
Then 10U, like, and then when you get to high school, man, I just want to go to college.
Yep.
I want to go to college. And then, like, when is it okay just to, like, be in the moment and enjoy that time?
I say it's your senior year of college, right?
But what if you don't get to college? Okay,
Yeah.
last night, senior all-star game.
Yeah.
Got rained out. We ended up playing on the backfield, the turf field.
Mm-hmm.
And one of our guys was sitting beside a guy from Lake Wells, and he asked him, and you can probably guess who asked him.
Probably. I know who you're talking about.
It's Greer.
Yeah.
Greer said, hey, man, where are you going to college? He's like, University of Florida. He's like, what? That's awesome, man. So what position are you going up there for? He's like, I'm not going up there to play. I'm going up there to go to college.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought, and same thing happened to me my senior year in the All-Star game. I didn't ask the guy directly. I asked some other guy. He had hit a home run. I said, where's he going? He's going, University of Florida. I said, oh, man, that's cool. He's going to play. No, he's just going to join a frat.
Yeah.
Nothing
Nothing wrong with it, though,
So
dude.
I guess the short of it to me is like at some point you have to be happy where you're at and doing good. And there's nothing wrong with just having a good high school career or even a good Little League career. I mean, because I think that the problem that exists, and this is like my final point on it, is you start, like, let's say you start playing travel ball at 7U, whatever. You play all the way up. Every weekend, you got hitting coaches, pitching coaches, strength coaches, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And you just invest all this time. You forego, you know, the camping trip, the fishing trip, the hunting trip. Oh, I got a tournament. I can't miss it.
Yeah.
You know? And then by the time you get to high school, maybe you
get burned out.
You just don't fit the bill. Maybe you just didn't grow big enough. Maybe you're just not the guy.
Yeah.
And
it happens all the time.
And you just can't let it go. You can't say, you know what? I did pretty good. I had some moments. I got a game-winning hit one time. I made this catch. That should be good enough for a lot of kids. But then they're like, nope, I'm going to upper northern, middle central state.
Yeah.
Division 7 college.
Yeah.
It's going to cost my parents $100,000 in the end, but I'm going to play college baseball. And it's like, are you? Or are you just playing more travel ball?
Yeah.
You ever thought about that?
Really.
Yes. No, I have. We have talked about that. Me and him have talked about that before. And yes and no. You can see that as a college athlete at the end. But, man, I'm telling you, you were a college athlete.
No, I'm not. I know I'm not bashing college. I'm saying that, like, you shouldn't forego what is more important. Just like he did. He went and studied what he wanted to study. He didn't go somewhere just to play and study something that wasn't going to benefit him in life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I've talked about that on my episode before.
Any guys that, you know, are in that state of life or whatever, that kids that you're trying to figure out where you're going to go play ball or where you're going to go to school, find something that interests you.
Yes.
If you want to be a YouTuber, go to college. You don't have to go to college, but if you're going to college, go study communications or social media marketing or something that interests you. And don't go get a pointless degree. Go learn something, because now the more and more like time goes on, the less and less a college degree means something. And so go actually invest your time. And if you're getting a degree, get your degree and go learn something from somebody that's already in the field, and then get internships in that degree and learn something from some people that have already done it, and go network in that field. The best thing about college is not that piece of paper. It's about the people that you learn in that field.
Y'all met in college.
Do what?
Y'all met in college.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, like we preach that, man.
It's college. I will never bash college. I think college is a fantastic thing. I think it's a great thing. Do I think the college degree is a fantastic thing and a great thing? Not necessarily. I think the experience that people go and have for 4 years to find themselves, figure out what they want to do with their life, is a buffer period for them to go pursue their dreams. Do I think it necessarily helps you? Some fields, yes. Some fields, no. Do I need a college degree? Hell no. No, I'm going like I really don't. If I'm driving a tractor, if I'm saddling up my horse, I don't need one. Yeah. But it helped me figure out what I wanted to do with my life.
It shows, my big daddy told me this. He goes, because I argued the same thing. Yeah. And he said, it shows people that you can start something and you can finish it. Because it can't just happen like that. It takes 4 years. Mm-hmm. You have to take that whole time, and you have to go through all that struggle and all the different time, and you can't give up. And that's what it does. Yeah. And you never know when you need it, So
yeah.
Anyhow, I work for my family still to this day. My granddad and dad, I call him Big Daddy. Mm-hmm. I don't think you never met him. I think he had passed away before you ever came out there to work. Maybe,
but I don't think I have.
They started an ornamental nursery. So my granddad retired at 50, and they were going to start. They were growing like ornamental plants, like they sell at Lowe's and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And my dad was working for Aztec at the time, which phosphate mine was located on 555.
Okay.
And he was the reclamation manager. And the guy that was doing some work said, hey, Connally, you need to grow native trees because they're going to start this mandate that you have to reclaim all this mined land. And he's like, oh, okay. So we started growing oaks, pines, maples, all that stuff, sweet gum, whatever. And it took off. And, I mean, they built a huge business out of it. We had like 500,000 inventory.
Really?
Wow. Yep. And that's what I did my whole high school, when I was young, high school life, all that stuff. Like if I wanted, I can remember, it's crazy, I remember this right now. I wanted a pound puppy. Y'all probably don't know what those are, but they were like it was like a little stuffed dog that came with like a backstory and all that stuff, a little house.
Sounds like a web skin.
Yeah, right?
I don't know what that is. But
same thing. Same lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we had to go fill bags to like make the money because they weren't just going to buy it for us because mine was like $10. So I had to fill like 100 bags. That like little sacks,
Yeah.
And so, but we did that. They did, and it lasted about 25 years. It was a good business, but neither my dad or my granddad ever took a salary from it, took any money out of it. I mean, they might have taken something like pay this bill or pay that bill, but everything went back in, and so they were making quite a bit of money, so they started buying Grove, and we amassed quite a bit of Grove, and it was good. It was good times. And then now in 2006 or 2008 was whenever it got mandated that all citrus nurseries had to be under screen, like they're doing all the stuff around here with the
really
the groves.
they have to be.
Yeah, citrus nurseries have to be.
Okay,
starting them from seedlings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're like they can't be exposed to the elements, and we jumped right on it, and the price of resets went from like anywhere from $3.25 to $4.25. Sometimes like $2 if you want to get rid of some of them, to like $8-9 right off the thing. So that's been what's been keeping us rolling since then. Since everything's kind of going south.
Yeah, for real. I mean, everybody, especially in the state of Florida. I mean, you don't even have to be in agriculture to look around and see there's a huge difference. So y'all are mostly in the nursery side, or do y'all still have your developing groves or whatever, or are you still selling straight to the farmer?
We still have quite a bit of grove. We got rid of some stuff that was just kind of outliers that we had picked up in the good times, where it's like, hey, you can get that, you really don't have to care about it, you can still profit. We got rid of a lot of that, and even now we're kind of focusing on the good dirt, where there's good dirt. We just put in 2,500 resets on 50 acres, so all in bags and all that stuff. It's totally different. It's not as easy as it used to be, so we'll see how it goes,
I like this episode because you get a little bit of what you like, and I get a little bit of what I like too. You got the baseball and the ag.
Exactly.
And I want to go back to the baseball though. I want to ask you one more question about Southern. You hold a couple records there, right? Like a no hitter.
Yeah. Oh, I do. Yeah, I hold some records. Perfect game. Through the only perfect game in history.
Okay.
It was in conference too against Florida Tech. So that was cool. And then I think I hadn't looked at them in a long time, but they were if I'd have gone back for my fourth year, I would hold most of them, but I had like my strikeout. I had the strikeout records were the ones like single season strikeouts, and then I think I'm second all time of strikeouts with only 3 years. Really, only 2.5 years. So I just used to strike a lot of dudes out. Yeah,
I didn't know all this. My dad always told me about you as a player. He's like, yeah, he holds a couple records at a Southern. He didn't tell me all these things.
I think I threw harder than what the gun said. So
I think everybody did back then.
I think the guns are a lie now.
I think they went back and did like they timed Nolan Ryan's like fastest pitch he ever recorded on the old guns. I think now how they measure it would have came in at like 107.
Yeah,
on the gun.
I saw that.
All right.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. It is fake. It is all fake, man. We used to be up there at the Tiger Town, right? Playing against guys we played against all year long, right? Mm-hmm. Mid-8s, max, 85, 86. They get on that Tiger Town gun up there on the senior all-star game. There's a guy who never sniffed 90. He popped a 9 on that thing. And I was like, that makes no sense. I do agree, though. I do agree that guns are juiced.
That's what got Harbin drafted, though.
Yeah,
I agree.
For real.
But now he does. Now I was around him in Little League, so when I see his mom and dad, I talk to him, and like he's throwing like 98, 99 now.
Oh my God, I couldn't imagine.
Straight gas. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's all relative. So hard is hard.
Yes.
So, you know.
It's if you can know how to pitch. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Seems like all the prospects now. I mean, if you're not 95 plus, like chances are of you getting signed like out of college. It's low. Yeah. I mean, you can be sitting 92, 93, and if you can't smell the strike zone, you're not getting drafted. You maybe late rounds, I would say.
It's tough.
It's really tough. But if you're a 92, 93 and know how to pitch, I mean, you've got 3 pitches that you can throw for strikes. That's
dude, he can pitch. That's how he used to carve us, man. Like in high school, I was a junior in high school. This was the first time John Conley, I ever met him. He came out. Senior, sorry. He came out. He was coaching that year, and he was like, "I'll pitch." I was like, "Well, dude, this old dude ain't gonna like." He comes out there and pops an 85 like off the mound. He said, "Well," I was like, "When was the last time you threw?" I don't know.
It's
7 years ago.
What's that story? The movie The Rookie?
Yes, dude.
I'm not the rookie, I can tell you that.
He came out there and he carved. Like he struck the first guy out, and then he dotted Luke. We all know Luke. He hit Luke with the pitch on his shin. That knot still hasn't gone away. You know what knot I'm talking about.
I made him get back in there, though. I'm like, get back in. You're not walking.
And then he struck me out, of course. And then he struck Danny out, too, former guest. Dude,
I got shelled this year, though.
Did you?
Yeah,
it's finally catching up to you.
It's finally caught up with me.
Yeah.
I got shelled. I think it's due to the too much upper body mass over the years, and I've made a change because I don't like that. So we're doing a velocity program right now.
Nice.
So nice. I topped me and Danny topped out at 78, which was pretty sad. But Danny's only 79, so. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I wanted to give a couple of shout outs. Danny with First Cast Fishing, that's a hat he's got on. Me and Dan are working together, and so that's a big thing. We talked about that. Shouted him out. And also Jake Fox. We talked about Maben and how he's doing well and how he got drafted. But Jake Fox, he was a guest of ours, got drafted, I believe it was in the 3rd round out of high school with the Cleveland Guardians. He came on. He's in high A, and right now he's leading off and playing center field for his team. So,
shout out to him.
Guys killing it. Hit a couple bombs, I believe, in the last month, and so dude's doing really good.
Dude, we keep tabs on all of our guests. We keep tabs on all of our guests. We're gonna keep tabs on you too.
Yeah,
from here on.
I'll be right there in Fort Meade.
Well, yeah, you have a YouTube page though too. He did dude, you do everything. Yeah, I envy that.
I'm curious about this YouTube page. I've heard a couple things about it.
Okay, well. It was kind of coming off COVID, and I I was like, we need to do something. And we always go hunting on Thanksgiving, duck hunting. And I said, well, Jack, my oldest son, said, just go film it and I'll edit it. I'll make a video, YouTube video. So we did, and it was me and Sam, and we had some pretty good banter because Sam.
Yeah, that's your youngest son, right?
Yes, yeah. It's always interesting with Sam. So I think it got like 300-something views.
Nice.
And then we're going out like 2 days later, and we're like all the way in. We got YouTube, we got phones, not YouTube, GoPros.
Nice.
And I'm thinking, dude, this is gonna take off, man. People are gonna love it. That video sucked because we didn't catch any hogs. We didn't do it. We just rode around and then we had a couple other ones, and then we went one morning, and we were just it was just like, oh, we're just gonna take the cameras, and we ended up catching like 4 hogs like back to back to back, and we caught them in like the perfect spots.
We get the right angles and everything.
No, just like we caught one deep in palmettos, and then they had another one bait up, and we got to it. When we finally got to it with the camera, it was in like a corner of bow legs that had a bunch of sand washed in, so it was like, I don't know, foot deep, but you could just see like the amber water, and the dogs were all.
It was just a pretty sight.
It was beautiful,
yeah.
And it took off. It got like 12,000 views, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna get paid quick.
And then we all have that feeling sometimes.
Yeah. And then we got a little greedy, and we made a couple other good videos. We had one that we caught some real toothy hogs down in Hardy County, and that one took off quick. But then I think the one that did us in was we caught a hog over at Sand Mountain. Got it done up. It was a bar hog. Mm-hmm. So they had another one bait up, and on the way to get the other one, I'd called a guy. I was like, hey, this is a really good hog. This is a guy that does work for us. I said, you need to come get it. It's going to be a good eating hog. And he's like, okay, I'll come get it. We get back. Now hog's not there. The dogs start catching something again, and we get in there. It's that hog.
Huh.
It had gotten up.
Did you have it tied, like hobbled and everything?
No, we had shot it with a 9mm. I mean, we got it. If you watch the video, the guy shoots it, and if you watch close on the video, the hog's eyes like I'm still alive, bitch. I'm coming. And he got up. We caught him again. Cut Brian Bailey. Cut his finger wide open. He had like little needle cutters.
Oh.
And then Adam shot it with a 44, and I think that was the video that was like. YouTube was like, okay, these guys are done.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you get strikes with YouTube. You get 3 strikes for community guidelines, and it's not against community guidelines, I don't think, to have blood right in videos. I think the actual
it's pushing
it's like the actual act of like it's
probably the gun.
That's true too.
And then we did at one of Adam's youngest son, Ty. We were like, hey, you come up, and we would stick some of them. And he went to stick it, but he pulled, and I don't know why we didn't edit it out, but it like filleted out a lung.
Oh yeah, that'd do it.
And we put like a warning on it and everything. But we started getting comments and like, hey, y'all are brutal, y'all are this and that. And I was like, the only comment I had to say, hey, come get on a tractor and ride through some rooting, and you'll
understand.
You'll change your tune a little bit, bro.
I feel like it's a part of it nowadays. If you have groves around here, you're gonna have to terminate hogs. It's part of life.
It's definitely like in agriculture, and a lot of people will see it. I mean, you hear about hog hunters, you hear about whatever, this and that. It's one thing like whenever you're a hunter, whenever you have deer or you have turkeys or whatever, or for instance,
actual game.
Yeah, exactly. Well, even in Africa, whenever they just shoot something and just let it lay there or whatever, just mount it or whatever. I'm a big person on if you shoot it, you got to eat it, except for hogs.
Okay.
So how I stand with it is hogs are a nuisance.
Yes.
And so, for instance, same with your groves. If you're going to spray your groves with pesticides, you don't want nematodes. You don't want, bugs going all through your groves or whatever, this and that. You're going to spray it. Same with hogs. For instance, if you got a pasture and they're rooting up a whole pasture and you just dissed it or you just planted it, like you got to make money. And so in my opinion, you know, you got to get rid of them.
That's something you could do. You could make a YouTube video like the welcome back of like showing all the problems that hogs cause. You could like.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I'm going to push you to do this. I'm going to push you to do it. Every day you're going to get a text from me. Hey, you ready to make the uncle? It's such a great name. Say it.
The Life of Uncle Jay.
Dude, that's such a great name, right? Yeah. Like, it's such a great YouTube name. That's a great, like, you can do some cool, like, I'm already thinking about merchandise. And stuff.
I
have a shirt.
Yeah, we did some shirts. We had some stuff. Jordan made the first one.
Yeah.
And it was fun. And I don't know, we might do something, but we might have to, like,
we'll have a strategy.
Tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Back it off a little bit. No more lungs out. No more
the gore a little bit.
Yeah, and towards the end of the videos, probably should have just like said, you know, to be continued. Like, see you next time, instead of like showing us, you know, by the fourth hog and the 50th beer or whatever. got a little loose.
Yeah. So. No, I'm in. I want to do it.
That's one thing, like with me personally, like I do TikTok and stuff like that. And I want to do, for instance, like whenever we're in the cow pens and, you know, you move the cattle through the, you know, pens and everything, it gets offensive to some people.
Yes, it does. I can see why.
I mean, whether you're using a hot shot, it's cattle prod, or whether you're shoulder deep in a bull's butt, you know, which, you know, whenever you're semen testing bulls, that's what you do. You know, whenever you're preg checking cows, it gets a little offensive to people, but
it's part of the job.
It's an educational purpose.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's hard to, whatever you do, it's offend somebody. So it's hard to run social media.
It is. It's tough. My Instagram, I was telling before we started, I have more fun with that because it's kind of like most of the stuff when we're hunting, I'll just like put it on my story. And mainly because I just want to show people that follow me. A lot of people follow me around Fort Meade, and it's like, hey, like we're duck hunting right outside Fort Meade.
I know. I used to sound like an armory going off.
Well, that's not us. That's some other people that hunt. I think they're kind of loosely kin to me. They really are. My grandmother was adopted, so we're not blood kin. But we were. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, this is cool. And then Jack was like, hey, you know, you can turn that into a reel. Yeah. I was like, what's a reel? And he showed me, and then all of a sudden it just like, it caught and it took off. And then I've had a couple that have done really, really good. So, you know, I don't know I don't think I'll ever make any money off of it, but whatever.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
It's fun to do. So for instance, with me, like I get paid on TikTok, but it's not like, I'm talking like cents on the day. Like it's nothing crazy by any means. But it is cool. Like for me personally, like whenever you get one of those feelings, because you said you had like 1.5 million views on a video or something
1.5,
like
yeah.
Whenever you get like a situation like that, wherever you put a video up and all of a sudden like you refresh and it's just like, there's more and more people that are following you or whatever. It is a cool feeling. It's like, oh dang, something in my life people care that much about. It's like, it's just a typical Saturday for me.
We've talked about it before. It's like a drug.
Oh,
it gets you like ooh, I want to do it again.
Yeah, I start posting all kind of stuff, and then I'm like, oh, that sucked, but that was good. And well, you know what it was for me was growing up. They always had ESPN Outdoors, like on Saturday morning.
I wish they still had that, man.
I do too, but you could, you know, you always wanted to have a hunting show, but whenever I was growing, you couldn't have. I mean, you had to have a whole production crew and all this stuff. And now, you know, you can like,
it makes it so easy.
Film it, okay, post it. Now I just had a hunting show, so it's kind of like living the dream of a hunting show.
And there's a lot more avenues getting paid for it too. You don't have to be like a TV sponsored hunter. You can be big on YouTube. There's a lot of YouTube hunters. Like they don't have their own TV shows, but they're making a living showing people how to hunt places on YouTube.
Well, even with social media, like a lot of the times, like you see these big influencers that like are gajillionaires and they have a ton of followers. They don't make their money, well, YouTubers to a degree. They don't necessarily make their money on their platforms. They make their money on their endorsements.
Yeah.
And so all the, like, for instance, this guy, we follow each other. I forget his name, but he's a farmer out west. And he's got, have you seen the guy? He's a farmer out west, and he's got his grandma and his buddy, and she always chases him around his hot shot.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I forget his name, but he's hilarious, and they always do these little skits all the time. And they do all this stuff, but every probably 2-3 posts, they do a sponsorship ad, and they make this skit including the sponsorship.
Yeah.
And so I DM'd the guy, and I'm like, hey, like I was starting to do pretty good on TikTok, and I asked him, I was like, hey, like where do you make your money? And he basically said, he was like, dude, he was like, once you get to the point where people start reaching out, like name brands start reaching out to you, that's where you're making money.
Yeah.
It's like all the TikTok bull crap or whatever that you see, you're making crap for that compared to, you know, you get Dots pretzels or, you know, whatever that sign you make a video. That's how you make your big money, apparently.
I think you're right. The endorsements, but I think there's also sponsorship. Like you can get through amount of your views too.
Yeah,
right? You know what I'm talking about? Like people,
you get paid per view. Yeah.
Man, I'm excited now. I mean, this is my realm. This is what I like to talk about. Life of Uncle Jay. It's such a good name. I'm gonna convince you to bring it back.
Well, we'll see what we can come up with. We got to get some good content though. It can't just be like filming me riding a tractor mowing a grove. Be like, yeah, this is real fun.
But if you hit one of them hog holes and you fly up and hit like the roof or something, that's good content. That's your reason that you're out there hunting.
Maybe going on a coffee fueled rant or something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, that's 90% of my TikToks. Is it? I'm literally on a tractor screaming into my phone. You know what irritates me? And then it pretty much hits pretty good.
We were talking about that yesterday. How like when you have a job like y'all's, because y'all do similar things. You're more cattle. He's more citrus and stuff. But
I spend a lot of time in a tractor though.
Yeah,
we're alone a lot.
Yes,
yeah.
But you have time to have creative thoughts, right? Like all this stuff's flowing through your head. You don't have to, be focused in on something 24/7. I get some time like that at work.
It depends on who you ask.
I try not to think because
why?
Well, so I grew up. When I started working, there was no, like, if you wanted to listen to music, if you didn't have a radio in your tractor, which we did not spring for. Well, I grew up on open cab tractors. You had.
I'm still on open cab tractors.
Dude, let's go. Get with the program. Closed cab, way better.
No, right now, don't mean to interrupt, but now I'm mowing a pasture, and it was a closed cab tractor, and we were trying to fix the AC in it. And I'm not naming any names, but somebody took a hammer and busted out all the windows of it because I couldn't get it fixed.
Oh, man. Why would you do that?
Yeah. That's no good. Yeah.
Bueno.
So I can remember mowing on an old Ford 7610, which could be a New Holland, Ford, whatever. And you would take the earmuffs that you buy or hearing protection you buy at like the hardware store.
Yeah.
You drill a hole in them, run your little earbuds through them like that would hook to your CD player. Yeah. And you'd put those on, and you had to get them situated just right. And then you could and then you're on the tractor, and you just have to hold it. Yeah. There's nowhere to put it, and you could listen to like the same CD, but then it was so hot that you're like, I got to take these off. I just put regular earplugs in, and it's just like, I'm just gonna think. So now I got a place we got a nice John Deere. I put my phone right there, put my Bluetooth noise cancelers on, and I'll just watch YouTube, listen to podcasts, do whatever I want to do. It's a lot better. So.
What podcast you listen to? I'm curious.
I listen to Rogan.
Yeah.
Just the ones that are like interesting. I don't.
Do you listen to conspiracy theory ones?
No, not really. I listen to just guests that I like. I don't like any of the MMA stuff. I'm just not an MMA fan. And then I'll listen to a couple other ones. I listen to. Really, that's the only one I listen to anymore. I tried to listen to some other ones, and
you just don't hit it. It don't hit the same. I get that.
Well, some of them have timestamps, so I'll just if it's like a workout thing or something like that, I'll scroll and okay, I'll listen to that one right there, and then I change it. So
yeah,
but that's about it. So mainly just random YouTube stuff. So
that's where you get your ideas from. Yeah. Just like he gets his ideas from TikTok.
Yeah,
he swipes all day.
I don't. So for instance, like if I'm on the tractor, especially if I'm mowing, because mowing a pasture and mowing a grove are completely different.
Yes.
Because whenever you're mowing a pasture, I mean, you've got for instance, normally if you're mowing a pasture, you've got cows on it, and so you've got bull holes everywhere, and through my time, I've tore up a couple gearboxes on a motor deck. So I've learned to make sure you pay attention to raise your deck and lower your deck and everything. So, but a big thing is with me, I saw this video one time. And it was basically a guy was saying, like, he goes, nobody understands, like, whenever you're in a cab all day, the amount of thoughts that you have. And we kind of hit it on that a little bit. But it's like, it can either be like hell or it can be an escape for a lot of people. And so, like, whenever you're in a cab, and people just will never understand it unless you do it for long periods of time.
Done it for him.
It's a lot, though. Like, people that do it for a living, that, like, every single day you hop in, you close that cab, and you're alone for 10, 12 hours out of the day, it can be a lot on you.
Sure.
But you can have those creative thoughts like you were talking about, and it could be a good time, but it also can be like, if you're having a rough day or a rough week or a rough month, people need to appreciate the people that are in those cabs, because it's a lot. It's a lot for sure.
Yeah. It's a lot easier if, like, so one of my good buddies, he works in a bank, and he's like, oh man, I'd kill to be on the tractor and this and that. I'm like, yeah, I would too. I used to work in an office when I worked in real estate. And if I could get outside and do something, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. But add 20 years to it, and you're like, okay, another day. Like, can I do something else until I go get on the tractor, like,
yeah.
So I try to space it out to where if I've got to do any type of labor, I try to do it in the morning, and then afternoon, maybe go get on the tractor in the afternoon, space it out a little bit. I don't, it's tough to do like 8 hours, 10 hours on a tractor anymore. That's a long day. And I don't really have to do anything that's like that pressing. Like, I'm mowing groves. Yeah. So it's like, that grass will be there tomorrow. So we'll just leave it there.
I'll mow it tomorrow.
Yeah. It's not that big a deal. So
I used to do that for him, mow groves. I used to, like, my brother would do it too. He used to fall asleep, I think.
He loves it though.
Yeah.
He's a very stoic individual.
He is.
He loves it.
He likes being alone. I used to like it until about like 3 o'clock. I'd be like, all right, I've been in my thoughts enough today. I need to talk to somebody. I need to see another person. Like,
I talk to myself.
I was about to say, do you do that?
Oh, yeah.
Is that not? I was beginning to think that was an issue. But like, there's times where it's like, I just be having conversations with myself.
A lot of times I'll pretend like somebody's interviewing me. Like, I'm something like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, and I'll give an answer. I'm like, well, you know what I think is you ought to do this. And then I'll catch myself. I'm like, dude, this isn't fantasy land. Like, just focus on
this is real life.
Yeah, quit playing around. Focus on what you're doing.
There's been times where, like, I have, like, gotten pissed off about, like, a scenario, and I've made up this whole situation in my head, and I will argue back and forth with myself in the tractor, like, playing both perspectives. It's like, oh, you son of a gun, yada yada yada. Like, it sounds strange to people, but like, anybody that's ever been there will understand where we're coming from.
I would put concerts on. I'd feel like I'd sing whatever song came on my playlist and feel like I would be putting on the concert. And that's what I used to do.
I went through that, and I sang a lot, and then I realized, like, I don't have the energy, because it takes a lot of energy to like do it right. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
So I want to hear about this. So I mean, we're on the tractor talk and everything. Have you seen some of, like, the not renovations, the new technology that, like, John Deere's coming out, where they have, like, the auto steering and stuff, especially in, like, cornfields and stuff?
Oh yeah,
it's like, it's unreal. Do they have any of that stuff, like, for Florida stuff? I mean, in terms of groves or anything?
I don't know. That's the honest answer. I've thought about it. I'm like, that would be awesome if, like, the problem with all the, like, I guess you could probably do it in the uniform groves, like, that used to exist down south, where, they lay it out, they do, sections of, 640 acres of just, like, everything's the same.
Right.
But I don't know that you could do it where we're at. I mean, because
there's a different grove every different way.
There's point rows. There's, hey, that tree fell down, this happened, and it would be awesome, but
you'd really have to, like, plot everything out specifically, especially whenever you plant it. You have to make sure everything's on.
Yeah. So I don't think you can ever, in a grove, I don't know that you could ever replace having a driver on there. You might be able to have auto steering to keep it straight.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Just so you can, like, sit back. But you can get kind of comfortable in our tractor, but it's, you can put your feet up, but it's like, I'm all the way stretched out. My feet are up, and then I take my shoes off sometimes, and then, you don't want to get too comfortable, because then you'll fall asleep.
Carson.
Yeah, it's well, he couldn't even probably get on the tractor anymore. He's so big now,
Yeah.
so he's huge.
I know.
I actually I seen one video. Have you seen those like Roombas, like the Roomba vacuums and
Yes.
everything that goes around? So they make lawnmowers of those.
Yes,
And so I've seen guys that have raised bed like greenhouses, and they have these Roomba lawnmowers that go through underneath all these raised beds and
Really?
cut all the grass.
that's cool.
And I was like, that's pretty interesting. There's a guy over here on Alturst Road that cuts his grass with one. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And then literally like 3 days later, I'm scrolling through TikTok, and they've got like 5 of these Roomba lawnmowers just cruising around. I was like, that's pretty sweet. If you could figure out a way to like program them, just go up and down grove aisles, like that'd be pretty
Like
sick.
3 at a time.
Yeah.
3
Well,
at a time.
they've got them that paint the fields now.
Yeah, they do.
Because your dad was talking about the other day that, like, he was saying, well, I just don't know how you could do it, like expense it because it costs so much money. But like, you can program that thing and it'll go paint the field for you.
All of them. They'll do a football field.
Yeah.
They'll do a baseball field,
Yeah.
softball, all of it.
It's pretty cool.
Have you seen those things? It's like a turf. It's called like turf machine or something like that. But it's literally like them lawnmowers. Like you just type in what field, what dimensions, and it'll paint all your lines.
What happens though when there's like on our field, our football field, there's a sand pit because
They're painting over it.
everybody. No, I'm saying the wheel hits and then all of a sudden you're painting a midline that shouldn't be there. So anyhow.
So I am curious. I want to bring up one thing kind of along the same lines as robots and all this crap. How do you feel about like this AI stuff that's going around? Have you heard about it? Like this artificial intelligence.
Don't get me started, dude.
I like the Arnold ones that are like everybody's Arnold.
Yeah,
It's
I know
like,
what you're talking about.
But yeah, I mean I don't follow it. I'll be honest with you. I don't
Gonna ruin the world.
What's the Arnold stuff? I haven't heard that.
Like you can do
Deep fakes.
Yeah. Like the AI deepfakes. You don't know what that is?
No.
Oh man, it's
Oh,
gonna
my
Star
gosh,
Wars
dude.
one day.
Don't start it. Like it's getting so good that like you're not gonna. That's what I was listening to Joe Rogan and he said it's gonna get so. There's a lot of Joe Rogan ones out there. It's getting so good that you're not gonna be able to tell the difference. Like they could deep fake something and think that it's real, but
They deep faked an AI. They AI'd a Rogan interview with Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Some college student did it as a final project up in like Toronto or something. But they AI'd an interview like he was on the JRE, and it's crazy. I mean, like some of the answers are like generic, like obvious, like all right, this is your robot. But there's some of the parts of the conversation where like if you just tuned in for that, you'd really think it's happening.
right.
And like the deep fakes is what he was talking about. It's like you can like it's the craziest thing, dude. Like I could just take a video of my face with like whatever famous celebrity you want to enact, and it's gonna look and sound just like that person.
Yeah.
It's just me talking. It's crazy, dude.
I enjoy them.
It's crazy.
Well, I've heard a lot of people say that like like with theft and like scams and stuff, it's getting really big too, because like I've heard several accounts where people will get like family members that receive phone calls and be like, hey, like I just got locked up or whatever, please send, $5,000, like I got to get out.
With
whatever,
their
this and
voice.
that. Yeah, and it sounds exactly like them. And then all of a sudden they're like, something seems wrong with this or whatever, and they blow up all the family members' phones. Are like, oh, I had no idea. And all of a sudden this person that missed a phone call like randomly answers like, no, I'm fine, I'm just getting Starbucks.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, and that's even scary, like with the whole idea of you can program something to do whatever, but at the same time, like, okay, so then you get like theft involved into it. Like, what do you know is actually real at that point?
I don't even want to talk about it, dude. You're gonna open up a rabbit hole
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I can't even get
That's what
into.
I'm
I'm a tinfoil hat guy, dude. I could talk about this for hours, but I will say that AI stuff, yes, it has its benefits, but like,
I think it has a lot more cons.
yes, man.
honestly.
The guy that was over Google AI, like the head guy, retired because he didn't like where AI was going. Like,
Well-
take the hint. Like Elon Musk has even said, like,
Yeah.
this stuff is not good. Take the hint. Like, it's time to shut it down.
I ignore it and hope I'm old enough that I'll be gone.
That's how I feel. And I'm only 24. I'm just hoping, like,
Yeah, you'll still be around.
I know. And it
I'm out.
scares the shit out of me.
Imagine walking down the street though, and there's like an AI robot, and you're like, "Oh, that's a good-looking woman," and then like you get to the point where it's like, "Oh, let's go out on a date," and you find out it's a freaking robot.
I don't have
Like,
to worry
imagine
about
that,
I'm
though.
married, so.
Man, they
I'm
have
good.
Like, imagine
I'm
that, though.
married, so.
man, they
I'm good.
have
Like, but think about that. Though. Like in the future, imagine that could be
Oh, okay.
that could be a real. I'm not going to say what I about thought, but
It's-
anyways,
I don't want to get into it, man. I do like the quote that I'm sure you've probably heard it before, that human beings are the like sex organ of the machine world. If you've listened to Joe Rogan, you've heard him say
I
that
have.
before.
Yeah. It's
That's a heavy. That's
it's a heavy thought when you
yes.
think about
When you
it. Yeah.
actually sit down and think about it. Think about it. Listen, human beings are the sex organ of the machine world. Think about it. What's going to be
basically,
around?
we're just creating more and more machines.
But we're create. It's if you sit down and think about it, it's a deep thought. Man, I'm going to get some backlash for talking about this on here. But I really don't care. It's like we're kind of creating our own doom through it all. Like with AI developing, like
Yeah,
that's
I
that was
agree.
our purpose. Just to like that. It's crazy.
I don't like stuff popping up on like,
Yeah.
you talk about something and then it's on your phone and I'm like,
Oh, they listen.
Yeah.
They listen to the guidelines, man. It's all in the guidelines.
that's why I cuss at Alexa sometimes. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna cuss at you and see what
Yeah, you heard me.
happens. Shut up.
Maybe some Jim Bob behind the dang
Right.
algorithm can hear me. But I think this is a great time to get in our
Yeah.
snap questions.
Yes.
Bring it.
All right. We ask everybody this. Our first one is, John Conley, if you could go to dinner with 3 people dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Fancy. 3 people.
It can be a little tough on the spot.
Yes, you can.
Number 1, Nolan Ryan.
Nice.
That's
Y'all would have a good conversation.
I walked by him in spring training and I was too cool to stop and like get his autograph.
Dude, what?
Yeah, I know. I was like,
6-rounder.
whatever, dude. It's Nolan Ryan. I'm taller than this man. I'm not gonna get his autograph. And let's see, who else? Probably Rogan for sure.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool because I'd just be like, I want to be your friend.
Yeah, dude, I don't care about being on the show or anything. I just want to pick your brain like off the set.
I want to be your friend. And then, let's see, Putin.
Yeah? That's a first.
Not because I agree with him or anything like that, but like I'd hope that he gets drunk and just like I guess he speaks English, and just be like, dude,
This is my plan.
tell me everything.
Yeah.
Like that really happened back
Yeah.
in the day in Russia. Because you hear all the stories, you see all the movies. I'm like,
Yeah.
I really want to know. Like,
Yeah.
how close was it?
That'd be, dude. There's been several where they've gone to like DEFCON 2.
Oh,
Both
yeah.
countries,
Yeah,
like
it's
several times where it's almost ended.
They
and
used to
nobody
do some
knows.
stuff over there. Yeah, I know. It'd be cool. So that's my 3 off the cuff right there. So
That's a really crazy 3. And all together, Nolan Ryan would have Nolan Ryan would be like, you know what?
I just went, I'm sorry, man. I should have stopped getting your autograph. It's like, who are you? I'm like, I was there. I was there one time.
One thing about Putin, like obviously, like as an American, you don't necessarily agree with some of the things he's doing, but you have to acknowledge the fact that it's like
That's their way of life, man.
well, for one, to be able to lead that many people, and one to be able to convince them. Well, it's a little manipulative, but to be able to lead that many people. The same with Hitler, like. People legitimately.
That's a hard name drop.
But no, think about it. Think about
it is.
You have to be one
Influential.
special influential person that can take a whole entire nation and manipulate them or convince them into thinking one way and to following you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying it's a good way or a bad way.
Right.
But how do you get that many people to follow you into doing something? And so my thing is if I can take your tactics and take it for good and can get these thousands and thousands, millions of people to follow me into something that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that perspective, because clearly they have a tactic behind it. I mean, it could be force, but they had to get there somehow. You know what I mean?
I cannot believe we had a guest that said Putin.
I
I see it though.
okay,
I see.
listen,
No, I totally get it.
I just
No,
want to
yeah,
know.
I
I just
understand.
want to know
Totally get it.
I just want to know the fun stuff, like the cool stuff. I want to like Atomic Blonde's like my favorite movie.
Yeah.
It's one of the best, and I was like, I want to see if all that stuff was really true. Like,
Yeah.
was this really happening?
I'd like to do that to Reagan, Ronald Reagan,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I thought we had to be alive.
or
so,
JFK. JFK would be a good one to do that too.
What's that movie that the guy takes the CIA, or it's a real story? It's the CIA secrets and the Rubik's Cube. You know what I'm talking about?
Snowden.
Snowden.
Edward Snowden.
I
You seen that?
No, I haven't seen it.
This is a true story. You got to watch that movie.
What's
It's called Snowden.
It's
really?
called Snowden. Yeah, that's his last name. But he works for the CIA. He's
NSA. National.
NSA.
Before it was even a thing.
Yeah, National Security Association or whatever, and they didn't nobody knew that this thing existed. He worked for them. Basically, he found out that the government can basically watch you through your webcams and stuff, and
Hack
that's how
everything.
that became
They get
a thing.
everything.
Oh, yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah.
But, okay, I got you.
And so it was basically his story, and he released all the national secrets, and he had it on this little flash drive that he put into his Rubik's Cube. Where he comes through the security on the way out, he tosses the Rubik's Cube to the security guard. He's like, "Hey, have you ever played with this thing?" And he's like, "Oh no, whatever." He walks through the security, whatever, goes out. Security guard tosses him the Rubik's Cube whenever he's done, and he
Smooth.
airs the whole thing. And then he had sanctions in Russia, so basically, Russia protected him, and he fled Russia.
He lives there now, yeah.
Yeah, he lives
Yeah.
in Moscow. Man,
Wow.
imagine what he's told Putin.
Exactly.
All right, you got our next question.
I know. We
getting
went down a little rabbit
again.
hole. JC or John Conley, what advice would you give to two 23, 24-year-old guys?
Oh, man. When you get to be like 40, you're going to look back and be like, golly, how did I even walk straight? 'Cause I was such an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny you asked that because I was just, I was with my wife and I go on a jog. She jogs. Sometimes I jog. Most of the time I walk on Sunday mornings. And we always go to the mile marker or whatever. And then we walk back, and about halfway back, we talk about random things. And I was like, "Hey babe, do you feel like you're 41?" She's 41. And she goes, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, I just thought that I'd be different at 42. I didn't think I'd still be an idiot." And she's like, "What?" I was like, "Well, no, I just feel like I don't feel." She's, "Well, I don't really think that you're gonna feel any different, even when you're old."
Yeah.
You know? So no, I mean, just enjoy it. It's tough to be. I found that my 20s were tough. They were tough just because you're trying to get started with everything. You're trying to figure it out. You're going to get married. You're going to have kids. And having kids is tough. That's the toughest thing. I mean, they're always just pooping and puking and everything, man. And it's I still have the anxiety from it because they're somebody will say, "Hey, you want to go do this weekend?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man. What if the kids get sick?" And they're like, "They're 18 and 14. They're fine. Put them in the room."
They're pooping.
Yeah.
Puking
They
everywhere.
can wipe their own butt.
So anyhow, no, I just, man, just enjoy it, man. I'm sure you hear that. It does. It goes quick, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, dang, I'm 40," and I'm sure that pretty soon I'm gonna look back and be like, "Dang, I'm 60. I wish I would have just set back." I did hear one thing, and I think it was it Rogan? I think it was Rogan. It was the guy that talks about longevity, and he said,
yes, I know what you're talking about.
and he said what he struggled with a lot of stuff, and he said what I try to do. His therapist said, it's wherever you're at, if it's a bad situation or a good situation, just look at it and say, would I want to, when I'm, let's say, 80 years old, would I go back to this situation no matter how bad it is? Because I'd be 40 and I'd be, or whatever age you are, well, I'd be 23 and I'd be with this person or that person, and I'd have all of this ahead. And you have to think, oh, yeah, I probably would, especially when you're an older person. You're like, I'd love to go back there and just be in that moment again and enjoy it. And I tried to do that. I heard that mid-baseball season this year, and I tried to do that with Jack and tried to, because it was senior year, just tried to enjoy it and not do so much hey, your hands are here, you're doing this, the hell are you swinging at? Stuff like that. And I left him alone, and he did pretty good towards the end, hit a home run, so that was...
I know, I felt so good. Dude, he hit a bomb.
Your dad was so pumped.
Oh, I know, I saw the video. He was lit.
He does not like frostproof.
No, he does not. He does not.
So, but anyhow, that's my advice, I guess. Just enjoy it, man.
Live in
Enjoy
the
it.
moment.
Yeah, well, live in the moment, but have some. Don't be like, I'm living in the moment. We're doing whatever we want. Hey, tomorrow's gonna come. You're gonna have to deal with it. So, but
I like it. This episode's been good, man.
I do.
I got it. So we were talking about this actually last night, me and him. Why do we do this? Like, why do we talk to people like this? And I just said, I just like hearing cool stories and like hearing and learning from people, man. Yeah. I've gotten from tonight's show. I think we should start doing this. Yeah. I gotten from tonight's show, man. Shoot it straight. Be straightforward. Right? Be yourself. Be creative. Have fun. And dude, keep rocking. Don't get old.
JC, man, it's been a pleasure. I've had one hell of an episode. Brian and I have been talking about how we wanted to just start having conversations and not necessarily like booking it down and having outlines and sticking to the script or whatever. Just sitting down and talking. And I think this has been a great example of that.
But I love it.
Yeah. I like it.
I do too.
I had a good time. I had a real good time.
We had a great time.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to check out the YouTube page that you started or any of your socials, you want to shout that out?
Yeah, you can look at The Life of Uncle Jay on YouTube, but you're gonna have to get an account because it's 18 and up.
We're gonna fix it.
Yeah, and then I'm at The Life of Uncle Jay on Instagram, but it's mainly Chapo and Phoebe on my daily activity. So, my dogs. So every once in a while, some cigar smokes. So there you go.
Well, if y'all are interested in checking us out on Instagram, if you're not already, Instagram it's Rule One Podcast. We're on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Pod. Make sure you like and subscribe. Obviously, that goes without saying. Don't want to beat a dead horse, but
yeah, helps us out in the algorithm.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Until next week. I took your part and you took my part.
Yeah. We'll see y'all next week.
Thank you, JC.
Yeah, you're welcome.